Olivia. I just got done watching the brand new Captain America Brave New World movie. And before I get started and explain to you what I thought about it, I went into this movie with zero expectations. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm kind of over Marvel. I mean, after Endgame, it's all just been kind of meh for me. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but that's about it. And obviously the whole main Avengers stuff. But I'm not a huge Avengers nerd. I'm more of a DC person. So I had zero expectations. In fact, I was not at all excited for this movie. And honestly, I wish I could say that since I went in with the lowest expectations possible, that I liked this movie. I really wish I could say that, but quite the opposite actually. I hated this movie. In fact, I disliked it so much that I will be doing a no spoiler part of the video, the first half, and then I'll be doing a spoiler version. So for those of you who don't want the movie to get spoiled because you haven't seen it yet and you might want to check it out, watch the no spoiler part and then I'll let you know when I'm gonna switch over into the spoiler side. But for those of you who just really don't care, watch the spoiler free part and the spoiler part because I will go over every stupid little thing in this movie that made me mad. But before we get started, I have an important message. Well, two actually. Number one, we got my merch shop up. There should be a link right under my bio or something. Just go ahead and click that and it will lead you right to my merch store. I have adult men's, adult women's, kids, girls, kids, boys. I got everyone covered. I don't have much designs yet, but I'll work on some. Anywho, last important message before we get started. I have a special guest with us here today. You can't see him, but he wants me to pass on this message to you all. So I'm gonna ask him quick because he didn't tell me it. And I feel a little bad because our special guest with us here today is Anthony Mackie, who plays Captain America in the brand new Brave New World movie. And I feel bad because I didn't really like his movie at all. And I feel bad kind of saying all this bad stuff right in front of him. But let's hear what his message is. Go on, Anthony. What's that? Sorry, we can't really hear you over here. You gotta speak up, bud. Oh, you have a cold? He has a bit of a cold and a sore throat going on, so I'll just tell you what he said. He said to subscribe to Being Real with Olivia right now and ring that notification bell. Wow, Anthony, I'm loving the support. Thank you so much. Just because the movie was awful doesn't mean you were awful in it. Did you hear that, folks? Anthony said you all should subscribe to my channel. Now that's a true Captain America right there. Anywho, all things aside, let's get started with the spoiler-free part first. So, for those of you who are thinking about seeing this movie, I'd honestly just wait till it comes out on streaming. I don't think it's worth spending your cash on popcorn and the tickets and the drinks just to go see this movie. I mean, if you're a die-hard Marvel fan, you might like this movie. But it's the three worst Marvel movies combined into one. The Incredible Hulk, Eternals, and then one of the other Captain America ones that was awful. It's those three movies combined into one. And they make a ton of Eternals references in it. A lot in this movie, so yeah, and it's not that good. Basically, I wish I could tell you what the plot is about, but honestly, I don't know. This movie was all over the place. I mean, I guess, it was still entertaining. I guess some people would still find it, fun, because there is action and, fighting scenes, obviously. But it was just messy, and the acting was NPCs. I mean, Captain America, aka Sam, whatever, his friend, I don't know his first name, I know his last name though, it's Joaquin in this. He was really bad. Now, personally, he didn't get on my nerves that much, but my dad and brother, hated him. Because he was so over the top with everything and cringe. And okay, I know I can't be talking, but just for the role he was playing in this movie, it just wasn't good. And I know it's not his fault that they wrote him this way, but I mean, it was really bad. Okay, so I had to Google the plot of this movie quick to give it to y'all, because if I was to give you the plot off the top of my head after seeing this movie, I'd have no idea what to tell you guys. So this is the plot from Google. Basically, Sam, aka Captain America, finds himself in like this international incident after they appointed the new president, Ross. And they're kind of beefing with each other because this President Ross dude was like in a Captain America movie ages back that released. He like did something bad to Captain America to like screw everyone over. I don't really know. I haven't really seen the Captain America movies. I have like no interest in like his super person at all. But basically, this new president is kind of struggling because nobody trusts him in America or in Japan or like anywhere because they know about all like the bad stuff this dude has done, but he's trying to prove that he like changed. And it turns out there's like a whole bigger ploy going on. And there's a whole other like mastermind dude behind this, which I will go more in depth in my spoiler version about like what's really going on here and who like this mastermind dude is, who is a mastermind. He's really not. So yeah, that's like basically the plot. Anywho, once again, there is fighting, action. Although this movie's like 2 hours, I mean, and the dialogue is so bad too. Once again, they're just very serious and stoic, and everything's just very like choppy with how they say things. There's no expression or emotion into the words. And one of the girls, her name was like Ruth in the movie, she made me so mad. She was like one of the president's like security guards or whatever. She's like this tiny woman, looks very out of place with all like the buff, tall rest of the cast. And like I know she is supposed to be portrayed as like this baddie, tough woman who like doesn't let anyone like take control of her or take advantage of her. But she just like really got on my nerves. She was almost as bad as Ana Lucia from Lost. And Ruth didn't even have as much line of dialogue as Ana Lucia did. By the way, side note, if you haven't seen the show Lost, you should totally check it out. I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. I don't really know. I gave up after season 2 after Ana Lucia got introduced because I hated her so much. But someone just told me recently that she actually doesn't stick around for that long. So I'm gonna like get back into it. Basically, it's a show that's amazing, but they never actually end up explaining anything that happens. Anywho, wish I could talk about Lost because it would be way more exciting, but back to this boring crap pile of a movie. Now, my brother loved this movie. My dad, he was like in the middle. He thought it was like, there were some good parts, but there were some bad parts. He was like, meh. Anywho, you'll see his review. But honestly, I mean, I disliked it a lot because I had like low standards for this movie, but this movie was honestly worse than I expected it to be. Because in Marvel movies, you know, you still got like the action, even if like the plot, because let's be for real, most of the Marvel and superhero movies, the plot never makes any sense. It makes up for it with its action, cool characters, drama, theatrics. This movie had like none of that. The only like cool part was when Red Hulk came out. Everything else was lame because of the characters. Like if the characters were better, then I'd, you know, probably like it more, and if like the plot and story just made more sense. The only character that like I liked in this movie was Sam, the Captain America, but he wasn't like great. Like he didn't do anything for me. He was the equivalent of Pedro Pascal in Gladiator 2. Like they were fine, but in Gladiator 2, the main guy was nothing compared to Maximus from Gladiator 1. I felt like that for this movie. Sam was fine, but he was nothing compared to like what he could have been for Captain America, like that beacon of hope. Although they do mention in this movie, which I do appreciate in Captain America Brave New World, how he isn't Steve Rogers. I mean, he didn't take the serum to make him all like super powerful and get superpowers. He's just like a regular dude trying his hardest. Which I do appreciate because like, he's not one of those superheroes that just kicks butt and is like, I saved another city. I just beat like the 3rd alien invasion. I just stopped a nuclear explosion from happening. You know, he's just like a basic dude who's got moves. I just wanted a little more with his character. And there were so many other random side characters in this movie, like side bad guys that didn't make any sense. and I had no idea who is who, because they had like so many code names for everyone. They'd use like the Serpent, Sidewalker or something. Like, what does that even mean? For like these random people. So the whole time I was trying to figure out like which nickname belonged to who. So I'm like, okay, they said they're gonna go meet up with Serpent. Which one is that? It was just all over the place with the bad guys, and I swear, they just spawn out of nowhere. It's like, get him, and the main guys would just let him go because they'd get, like, distracted with other people. No, go get them. And I felt like everyone was all over in this movie. One minute they were in an airplane, the next minute they were here, then there, then there. Like, the setting was constantly changing, and they didn't really focus. Like, they focused on Captain America, but they also focused on the president and some of the other random characters that I just did not care about. And I will talk about this in my spoiler review, but they did something so dumb in this movie, like, to control, like, the Air Force people and the military to, like, turn on everyone. They did, like, the dumbest way possible to do it. That made absolutely no sense. I was seriously, like, so confused and lost and, like, bored this whole movie. I mean, I will say, though, it did move fast. I mean, it was 2 hours, but it moved pretty fast for me, even though it was a crap show. There was no, like, long, boring, like, unnecessary parts. Everything was very fast-paced, so I'd say that was, like, a big plus to the movie. Anywho, that's, like, really all I can say for the no spoiler part. The rest will be heading a little too dangerously close to spoiler territory. But yeah, I mean, if you do want to see this movie, maybe wait till it comes out on streaming. I mean, it's just nothing special. I'm like over Marvel at this point. I mean, maybe this movie, I would have considered it to be good if it came out like a while back, before like Thanos snapped his fingers and they like redid everything. I mean, come on, half these people are dead, and then, like, they replaced Steve Rogers with this new guy. It's all over the place. It's like, this is so complex for no reason. Like, did you have to kill everyone off, Marvel? I mean, you knew you messed up. That's why you're creating all these new people and all these new movies. So, yeah, that's about all I got for the no spoiler part. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed. Ring that notification bell, like our friend Anthony said. Comment down below if you are going to see this movie, what your plans are, if you have seen this movie, what you thought of it, or just whatever. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you around. Now, for those of you who stayed, I assume you're here for the spoiler part, so that's your only warning. Okay, now this is going to be shorter than the no spoiler part because, like, really, I just have a few things that I want to bring back to attention that I mentioned in the first part. So if you, like, haven't seen the first part and you just skipped right to here, I'd go back and watch it because I still said, like, some things, I mean, I'd consider to be important to this part. And I give more of, like, an in-depth review and, like, my personal opinions. But anyway, okay. First thing I want to talk about that I mentioned earlier was, like, this mastermind guy who was kind of, like, pulling the strings here. He was kind of, like, controlling the president and scaring him a little. The main antagonist, okay? The bad guy of this film, I have no idea what his name is. Again, like the whole nickname thing, he was either Sidewalker or Serpent. So many nicknames, don't know who they belong to, but this guy is bad. These people have been tested on. They've been mutilated. It's like, you know, basically X-Men, what they did to Wolverine, and all the mutants that people tested on, except for X-Men is way better. I love X-Men, I'm an X-Men stan. Anywho, this guy, the bad guy, he got tested on by the president, so he's got beef with him. He's been locked up for years, tested on, blah, 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 whole sad, soppy trauma story. So he's ready to get his revenge and show the world who Ross really is. Which, I mean, okay, I mean, everybody kind of already knew that Ross was, like, evil. They all have trust issues with him, so I don't really get, like, what you're doing, because everybody knows he's bad. Like, what's your main goal here? Anywho, he's been giving Ross these pills that turn him into the Red Hulk. he told Ross that they were like to help stabilize him because he's like slowly dying. Really, they were just like making his condition of turning into Red Hulk worse. Anywho, that's like his revenge. Since Ross tested on him, he's gonna test on him back. Well, not only did he do that, but Captain America in this movie has a friend, Isaiah. And Isaiah was like locked up in a prison for years too and tested on. And like he was a soldier, he was just doing his job. And Ross did an awful thing to him, blah, blah, blah. Well, Captain America got invited to the White House to, you know, for the first time to like talk with the prez. So he brings Isaiah along as like a little piece just to show him like, hey, it's okay, the president changed a little. So they go there, and the bad guy is of course behind this. He invited Captain America because he wanted Isaiah to show up so he could like do something where he had someone who was working for him send a message to Isaiah that made his phone kind of freak out and go like fritzy. So when Isaiah looked at the message, he got like brainwashed by it, where I forgot what the term is called, but it's basically when like you go through years and years of torture or just like something like a drill, you get used to it. So every time like a certain song or there's a certain phrase said, your brain goes to do what like you were forced to do. So for example, after a long time, if you heard the phrase like pizza, and every time you heard pizza in the past, you would like put your hands over your ears or like have to run around in circles. If someone said pizza again to you, you would like start running around in circles because it's what you had to do in the past and like what you're used to. It like drilled into your head. Well, anywho, that's basically what happened here. This guy sent like a photo or video or something, I don't really know what it is, to Isaiah, because we watched over like a security camera, so we couldn't really see like what was on his phone. He looked at it for like seriously 2 seconds, and then when they were like in the actual meeting, a song started playing in the background, and that's when Isaiah jumped up and tried to shoot Ross. So like the song was kind of like the code or like the thing that made him jump up and shoot him. Well, like you'd have to go through like, you know, training, or every day you'd have to hear that song and shoot at the same time while it was playing to get that through your head. Like, in what world would you show someone like a 2 to 5 second long video or photo or whatever, and all of a sudden it's just like there for them? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So anyways, Isaiah goes to prison. He's like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't in control, blah, blah, blah. Because obviously, like, he wasn't in control. His brain just snapped when he heard the song and he, like, did that. He got shown this whatever for, like, 1 day, for 1 minute, and all of a sudden he, like, just jumps up after the song. Like, that's not even possible. It's really not. I mean, they didn't inject him with anything or make him eat or drink anything before they did it. They just showed him the video or whatever and he did it. Like, doesn't make any sense. But anywho, this bad guy, he's been like tested on whatever. His power is the dumbest crap ever. So it's like his brain is on the outside of him, so it's the color of his skin, but there's like the bumps in your brain or whatever. Anyways, instead of having like a cool power where you can see the future and like see what's gonna happen, instead he can like predict in like the probability of things because he's like a genius. So he'd be like, I looked this over in my head and this situation had like a 100% probability success rate for me. So we can see like the probability of an outcome in any specific event. Like, are you kidding me? Why not just have him see like clips of the future or like clips of like what would happen? Like, that would be way cooler than a probability. Like, that's so bad. And the ending is just ties it all together for awfulness, which I'll get to in a minute. Anywho, there's another guy in this movie, one other guy that he's a bad guy that I like kind of confuse the nickname for. I am gonna botch this name so badly, okay? Don't even say anything about it. But the actor who plays him is Giancarlo Esposito. He's Sidewinder. Not Sidewalker, Sidewinder, whatever. Anywho, he's like this other random bad guy that had like no purpose at all. And his whole goal was to kill Captain America for literally no reason. He's just like, I want to be the guy who kills Captain America. How many people get the chance to kill Captain America? It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. Like, bro, what's your obsession with killing Captain America? Like, we got a enemies to lovers arc here or something? Or what is the point of this? Like, his whole existence in this movie was very unnecessary. Like, at the beginning it was, because he was, like, delivering something from Japan, like, porting it over, so Captain America had to stop him. But then, like, the rest of the movie, when he would just randomly show up, it's like, why are you here? So yeah, there was just so many random, unnecessary plot holes and characters and things that made no sense. And were just very unnecessary, and we as the audience did not need or want. Okay, and the last thing I want to say about the main bad guy, the Brainiac who can predict probabilities. My brother, who I love so much, bless his heart, but can sometimes be a little not smart. He wanted to sit through the end credits, but after seeing this movie, I wanted nothing more than to get out of there and cry and throw up. We had to sit through, like, I kid you not, the longest end credit scene in the world. Longest ever, just to get to the, like, dumb teaser trailer for the next movie, or, like, the dumb little, like, end scene they do at, like, almost every Marvel movie. And wanna know what it was? It was something that we as the audience could have already predicted. So the main bad guy, and at the end of the movie, he gets captured, thrown into jail, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, Sam goes to visit him in prison, and the bad guy's looking at him, and he's like, "You're not alone. Visitors are coming soon," which are probably, like, more bad guys or something, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, I was like, okay, I mean, we kinda could already assume that. Like, not everything is just happy leprechauns skipping through the field with their pot of gold in their hand, picking up some daisies with rainbows over them. I mean, there's always gonna be a conflict in every superhero movie, or just movie in general, in life in general. But anywho, this guy kept it going. He's like, "I looked through all the probabilities, and my senses were telling me you're in trouble." Like, I'm sorry. So you can predict the future? Or what's going on here? Teacher, you forgot to assign the math homework. Teacher, will I get extra credit on this assignment I did? My probabilities are telling me I'm gonna get an A on this test. I mean, gosh, this dude is a clown. Like, he was the worst bad guy in bad guy history. Scar is rolling in his grave. And yes, I mean Scar from The Lion King, because he actually accomplished stuff. Like, bro was the ruler of Pride Rock for years after it kicked Simba out. Like, bro was like the only successful bad guy in a Disney movie, and just like most movies in general, because, you know, good always wins, blah, blah, blah. Scar knew how to get it done. Bro would be rolling in his grave if he saw this dude. And how this guy got captured was like the dumbest way possible. He basically gave himself up because he thought like Red Hulk was gonna kill Captain America. Okay, that's all you wanted to accomplish, but show Ross like his true colors? Get it? His true colors, because he turns red. Anywho, that movie was just dumb. It was plain dumb. So if you're thinking about seeing this movie, honestly, don't even wait till it comes out on streaming. Just don't see it, period. I'm basically like the probability dude. I had a probability, and I predicted before going into this movie that the outcome was gonna be awful. And guess who was right? Me, sadly. I wished so badly that I was wrong, but I wasn't. Anywho, that was my full review. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and comment in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions. Remember, try not to like give too many spoilers away for those people who haven't seen it, since this movie is brand new and just recently came out. Make sure to check out my merch store too. Come on, I need some representation. I need to make that moolah because I need a car and I need to pay for college. I'm gonna need a house one day, and gas money, and groceries, and bills, and taxes, and all that fun, festive stuff. Okay, anyway, I'll have a mental breakdown on my own. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you around, because next review, we got Shaun of the Dead, which is a fairly older movie, I'm pretty sure, comedy, horror movie, action, whatever, so I'm excited to do that one. And by the way, wow, my Tropic Thunder video was blowing up. I was not expecting that. I mean, that's one of like my top viewed movies. Y'all, I was seriously not expecting that. Thank you so much. I mean, that's almost like close to Nosferatu, and Nosferatu was like a new movie. Although to be fair, Nosferatu got me a lot more hate than it did love, so we don't talk about that. Anywho, I've been yapping and trying to wrap this up for like the last 10 minutes, so yeah. Okay, have a good night or day, and I hope I'll see you around.